breaking down his game in summary wise. 6'6", 264, 33.5 arm length, all perfect, right? All what you want to look for in an edge 343 edge rusher. His broad jump was off the roof, off the chains, 124 inches. His power is 179.5. When you add up the broad, the vertical, and the bench press, and we're looking for at least 170. His 3-cone was 7.2, so which is right at the threshold. 20-yard shuttle 4.41, which is good. We're looking for 4.4 and under. 10-yard split 1.63, and his production is 2.36. Right, and if anything above the 2 is elite. So One thing I want to say though, his production came against second-rate teams. He didn't play the best teams in college, right? Because he didn't play in the power big conferences. So looking at his is what I wrote. His strength has all the physical tools to be a 43 defensive end. Has good length and is quick and athletic. Can become a good starter with the right coach. Has great potential due to his physical tools. Has a good first punch. Good run defender, but needs more polish to affect the pass. His weakness: extremely raw, tries to win with strength, does not use his hands to beat blockers. Only move he utilizes is the bull rush. Bull rush works against lower level competition, but won't work in the NFL. Needs to learn to disengage from blockers. Has great production, but against lesser opponents. And summary: a great prospect to hide behind starting defensive ends until refined. Prototypical 43 athlete without the refinement. If drafted by the Raiders, he would learn first year and get some pass snaps as backup. Too raw to draft round 1. Can't take him round 2 if coach really believes he can teach him, if he can coach him up. For Raiders, he makes sense in round 3, but will be gone by then. And I gave him a mid-second round grade.
Yeah.
So it's a lot lower than other people, but other people just see the freaky athlete, and you can't just always take the freaky athlete and turn him into a football player. So.
No. Well, the same was said about Obi, wasn't it, really? Like, he's just an athlete. So, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
yeah, Obi played in Connecticut, so they played good schools too, so.
Yeah, well, that's the difference in level, isn't it?
And Obi went second, late second. So.
Yeah. So, well, that's probably projection for Davenport, in my opinion, probably in the second.
Yeah. So mine was mid-second. So I think all that talk taking him round 1 is just when I looked at the tape, I didn't see it.
I don't think it's practical, personally.
Yeah.
I don't think it's practical to take on a player who's played lower level opposition and is kind of a rough diamond. We need to get people in who are going to, come in and hit the ground running.
Exactly.
So,
all right, who you got next then?
Rasheem Green.
Go for it.
Yeah, so his tangibles are his height. He's 6'5", so he fits the criteria there. He's 275 pounds.
Perfect.
So he's a big built dude who's gonna attract attention because obviously his physicality. I wrote down his strengths are he's tall and long limbed. So he's got long arms. He's tall. He's a big guy. He's got an imposing frame. But if he converts, the body mass to muscle, I feel that he'd be even more powerful. He's got fluid movement. When he's engaging, he's very fluid in his movement. His quickness to disrupt gaps jumped off the tape to me. He's very quick. If he sees a gap, he's very quick to disrupt it. For me, he has the traits as a natural edge rusher. Your standard edge rusher. His weaknesses, in my opinion, are he's upright. He's an upright rusher, rather than the other one. He's got a narrow base. but I don't think you can really count that too much against the player. He's similar to Davenport in a way. He's can be very predictable in his ways of rushing. But that's another thing, as I said, it's all right saying this, but you can coach these players. They're all intellect, they've all got a brain. You can teach these players to do things. But also another thing is he needs to add an extra nastiness. He's got the height, he's got the build. If he converts his mass into muscle, I want him to be nasty. I want him to be like, one of the nastiest guys on the field. And it didn't really show to me on his tape that he was one of those. But if he can do that, he would be ideal as well in a 4-3, because he's got an impressive ability to like change direction. And that's something that we need to get in an edge rusher, because that's sort of the area where we need to improve with Mac one side, someone on the other side. We need that change of direction quickly to, create havoc.
Yeah, and he's had really good production as well. He's had his production index is 2.05, and again, 2 is our elite baseline, so that's really good. He didn't lift in the combine, so I can't give you his total power index, but his broad and vertical were both above baseline. 116 was the baseline for broad. He did 118, and he did 32 inch vertical jump, 32 and a half.
Yeah. I think he's going to go. That some people said in round 1 late.
But what do you grade him at? Yeah.
I personally grade him probably around mid-second.
Okay.
I think he's a mid-second sort of round guy. When you've got your Chubb and Harold Landry, who are expected to go in the first round, guys like this will filter through to the next round, in my opinion.
Okay, so he has pretty much the same grade as Marcus Davenport right now. And also with Rasheem Green, he played a lot of defensive tackle with USC as well. So he can, if need be, he can move inside and rushing downs and play the 3 technique really well.
Yeah, he can move around the line.
Yeah.
So I would like this pick purely on the basis he can move along the line and be disruptive. And as I said, he's very disruptive. When he spots a gap, he's disruptive and quick to engage in it. So I think that would be a good pick. If he falls to the second, I think he would be. I wouldn't be unhappy with that pick at all.
Yeah. Harold Landry is a guy I'm really high on, more than others. I think it's because they only watched his tape this year and didn't look at the production last year. Last year he had 16 sacks and 22 and a half tackles for loss, which is amazing. This year it went down a little bit, but again it was injured. So Boston College, 6'3", 252, which is a little light, but you can work around that. You can put him in a wide 9 stance, have him, and have him split out the tackle a little bit instead of going head on like you would do with a bigger, stronger guy like Hubbard. Arm length 33 inches, and his power index for a small guy 179. And his bench press was 24, which is more than Khalil Mack, more than DeMarcus Lawrence, and Aldon Smith. So which is pretty good. He's a smaller guy, but he has power. And you can see it in his game. His vertical was 36. His 3-cone is amazingly 6.88 seconds. Tied for second best among top edge rushers. So when you look at his film, and his 10-yard split was 1.59. So physically, he has everything that you want in an edge rusher. Little light for a 4-3, but again, you can scheme around him. You can put him in a little wider stance. His scouting, I have his strengths. Has very good functional strength and holds the point of attack well. Sets the edge in run support and has the burst and bend to rush the passer at the next level. Can rush from both sides and a good blitzer from the interior. He pretty much can do, has all the pass rushing moves in his repertoire. Just the weakness I noticed, needs to learn how to set up pass rush moves a little better. Bend and burst needs to be better on tape to win against NFL players on a consistent basis. So his bend and speed around the edge, it showed a lot more in the combine than it did on film. Overall summary, plays like Bruce Irvin, a good athletic and who can be one of the better edge guys in the league, potential Pro Bowler if he keeps working on his moves, on pass rushing moves, can be rotational rusher with Mack and Irvin and contribute from day one. I have him as a first round, mid 10 to 20, first round pick, early to mid first round. So that's my grade. I think he might go that high. He might not. Depends on what the teams are looking at. But for me, he's a first round guy. I would say early to mid first round, say from 10 to 20 or so.
Yeah, I would go along with that. I mean, I'm like you. I wouldn't be disappointed if the Raiders drafted him at 10, purely on the basis that with watch tape we can see what he can do, but also we know that he's productive. We know he can come in and hit the ground running.
Right.
You know, this is what it's all about: getting a guy in who you know is going to get straight on that train and take it home. You know, so that's what we're looking for.
Yeah. So what's next? What do you got?
I've got Chad Thomas of Miami. So just to look at his tangibles again. So he's 6'6", so he's very tall. His weight is 275. You know, he's got the perfect blend of height and weight. You know, he's the desired NFL size and body type that teams are looking for these days. You know, his physical traits are to play in an odd or even front. So he can play anywhere along there. He's got powerful strides as a rusher. So, you know, his speed to power is very good. You know, he's got smooth lateral movement. He converts speed into power effectively. He is actually very athletic as well, so you could actually see him dropping into a stand-up linebacker position. The weaknesses, he doesn't use his hands very well. You know, you're looking for their hands not to be, you know, fouling and stuff, whereas he was giving away penalties a bit too frequently. Hang on, sorry. He leads with his torso and shoulders too much, and it means that he's susceptible to hits from tackles. He's not really got impressive production for his size and athleticism. For his size and his weight and stuff, you're looking for that little bit more from him. And he's very slow at processing when there's a run play. So his instincts and stuff isn't up to scratch for me, but I think with the right coaching, you could develop him into an edge rusher, a very good edge rusher in a 4-3. But I'm not sure that's where the Raiders go. As I said, we need people to come in and hit the ground running. My grade for him is probably in round 3, probably in between 10 and 25, maybe. It's hard to really say with players like this. You know, some people might be higher on him than others, but I would probably grade him in round 3.
Gotcha. Yeah, I haven't watched much of Chad Thomas, but that sounds about right? Looking at his combine numbers, nothing was bad, nothing was great. So elite baseline, he was around there. Actually, which is pretty much, at par with the elite baseline. His production was 1.3, so which is good. Just something you want in a guy who would go, third round, second, third round. Not elite level production that you would see